All right, so let's get started. Hello again. My name is Mishna Tambak, and I am your host for the workshop. I'm thrilled to have you join us for our Tuesday sessions at 1 p.m. Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we will dive into a new topic each week. You can easily register for our workshops and other events through our website under the Events tab, or you can use the URL displayed on the screen. We do have a list of upcoming topics ready, so please feel free to sign up for multiple sessions ahead of time. I'd love to see you at as many sessions as possible, whether it is to brush up or discover valuable tips and tricks for maximizing Birdview's effectiveness for your project management needs. So each session kicks off with a hands-on demo on the featured topic. And as I mentioned, today's topic is going to be on our newest feature, which is called Spaces. The last 10 minutes are going to be reserved for your questions and curiosity. So please feel free to share your inquiries in the Q&A chat box. The agenda for today is that we will review what spaces are, how we will explore how you can create, configure, and use these spaces. And finally, we'll go over the questions and concerns and some details on the upcoming workshops and webinars. So you may ask what spaces are. So what exactly is a space? So really, spaces are the dedicated instances within your Birdview account for your teams. So each space has its own members or users that can collaborate and work on projects seamlessly and without any distractions. The difference between spaces and portfolios, if you know, we do have the feature called portfolios. The difference between spaces and portfolios is that Spaces allows you as a user, project manager, and administrator to enhance the confidentiality of your projects. It will also allow you to better manage members, permissions, custom fields, and workflows without cluttering your global company settings. So really, to put it simply, right now, as an example, I will quickly show you what your current instance would look like. So I'll bring this instance here. So this is a demo instance that I'm using for the purposes of this workshop. And currently, your activity center looks like this. So if you notice at the top here, you'll see the activity center. So right now, all of your projects that are created within the activity center, regardless of the teams, functions, departments, regional projects, they are all consolidated together, right? So the admins, what they do is they can go into company settings under user or access levels, and they define permissions based on the access level. So this determines the visibility of the projects for each user or user group. Oftentimes, these permissions overlap, and it results in the user having visibility of more projects than they might actually need. So what that does, it creates redundant, it gives them, the user, the redundant information and really clutters their activity center here. Spaces eliminates this visibility of redundant projects and settings by organizing them into separate spaces and allow for effective team collaboration and project delivery. So what does Spaces look like? So as I said, this is your current activity center, your current instance. The future state, should you choose to utilize Spaces, would look like something like this. So as you can see, the major difference in the view is the spaces here and activity center. So before, your activity center was on the top left was on the top left of this panel, but now it has been brought down to the to the middle. So this allows you to differentiate the capabilities and the features that you have available based on spaces versus what is globally available to all the users, regardless of the space. So the question is, how do you create a space? To create a space, it is a very straightforward process. I'm simply going to click on main. So main is the main activity center for everything. This is going to be your initial hub. So I'm going to click on this side arrow, and it's going to give me a pop-up that says create our new space. I'm going to click on this new space and say Birdview weekly workshop. This would be a space that I can create. Now I have the capability to color code this, and I can also add an emoji. So let's say I'll add an emoji of a paint, and I'm going to create a space. The moment you create a space, you will be taken to the new space itself. So now if I click on this arrow, I can see my next main space, and then I can see the custom space that I had just created. So you can create a space for yourself personally. You can create a space for your teams. You can create a space for your regional offices, groups, etc. You name it. The way you want to structure your organization, you can structure your Birdview account into those spaces accordingly. So let's go into Birdview Weekly Workshop space. So here, similar to your main activity center, I can create a project by simply clicking on create new project, or I can create new project here. Straightforward. I have no templates here. New project. I'm going to say workshop, and I'm going to assign it a date, which is going to be today, and duration of 5 days. Excellent. So now I have created a project. Notice when you create a space, you're automatically a member of that space. So similar to projects, right? Projects have members, spaces have members as well. The question is, how do you go about and adding members? You can click on this arrow again, and if you notice, the gear icon beside the space gives you the settings. So it is very important to remember that there's 2 sets of settings. One at the bottom left of the page that gives you company settings. This is global settings. To manage your space settings, you're going to click on the space itself and the gear icon right beside it. So when I click here, you will notice that we have given you a few options here. So the very first is general, which is space name and who it is created by. Secondly, you have members. So right now, because I was the one who created a project, the system automatically assigned me as a member within the space. To add new members, simply click on add member. Again, this is very similar to your company settings, and you can invite users from the list of users that you have within the system. So notice how it says not a member of the space and all the list. You can add members from your global user group, or if let's say you want to invite a new individual who does not belong to the main space, but will only be on this particular space, you can simply click on invite user. For the purposes of this session, we're simply going to add one of the non-members of the space. In this case, we'll pick Melissa. So once Melissa is added, you will notice that her access level by default is a collaborator, and she belongs to project management team. So as a space owner, you can click on the down arrow and you can change the access level that you want to give to your members. So in this case, I can select, I don't want Melissa to be a collaborator. I want her to be a, let's say project manager. So notice you'll see a new dialog box. It says set the access level to project manager for the user instead of a collaborator. Oh, I'll change access level. Here we go. So we can change the access level on a very specific space. Just because you change the access level for a user in your space does not mean that the user's global permission or global access level will change in the company settings. So that is one of the main differences here. Let's add one more space member here. Let's say Phil, and he's a business analyst. Let's make him a PBI developer as an example. right? So same thing. This will only change the access level for this space. Account level access role, which is global, will not be changed. So that's how you know. Custom fields, it is very popular. So generally speaking, if you have a very extensive list of custom fields in your company settings, let's go here and custom fields. If let's say there's a lot of custom fields that are not relevant to your projects, but they are there, and you can't, manage the visibility, you can simply add custom fields at your space level. So here, if I add a custom field, let's say, create a custom field, and we're going to say testing space custom field. I want this at a project level. Field type is text. Let's keep it that way. And do we want it required or not? That's your choice, as well as if you want to limit it by portfolio. So we're going to leave it as is, and I'm going to say save. So now you see that you have created a new project custom field. If let's say there's a custom field that already exists in your company settings, you can simply click at add custom settings, custom fields, and you will see the existing one. So that way you don't have to duplicate custom fields that are already available in your system into a space. So let's say here we can add project fields, let's say rates. So one thing I want to show you is that here you notice project fields, testing space custom field. If I go into company settings and go into custom fields, you will notice that that custom field is not available in the company settings. So that indicates that that particular custom field is only space specific and not global. How is that helpful? It is helpful because it will allow you as a user, as an administrator, to manage your custom fields and other workflows, so it's not, cluttered. It will keep it nicely organized. Now let's look at workflows. Similar to custom fields, you can also manage workflows independently of global space. So here I can add a workflow. I'll say create one, and I'm going to say workshop workflow, and I'm going to add in progress, and I'll say workshop completed. Perfect. And I'm going to automatically, this will be saved and I can close. So now you have a specific space specific workflow, which is not going to be on the global level, but just here. So now let's say you have a project in your main space. Okay. So we have a project in the main space here. And we have, let's take MP3 architects. This project was accidentally created in the main space, but you truly really want to be in a different space, which is the Birdview weekly workshop. How do you move that? So I can simply click on the more actions, and once your spaces are enabled, you will see an additional option that says space, move to space. So I can click here, and in the new dialog box, it will give you additional details on all the different spaces that are available to you to move for this project to be moved into. So I'm going to say, select my space, and I will say move. All space level custom fields and workflows will become global ones. So once you have moved this project into the space, it will become global. So I can say move, and notice that we have moved this project from one space into our new space. Let's take the filter out. Here we go. Excellent. So, okay, so this is like managing projects, moving projects. What's next? Now, let's say if we have a project and the assignees are not part of a specific space, right? Are not a member of specific space. What happens then? So let us go back to main, and we'll use this as an example, and we are going to add a few users here. So we're going to say, let's say Angela and Fabian are going to be assigned to these two tasks within the project. I'm going to move this project into a new space and say Birdview weekly, and let's move it and move. Notice that in amplified engineering, once the project was moved from one space to another, the members are automatically assigned here. And if I go into into my space settings and go into members, Fabian and Angela, who were not there before, are now added to the space. So moving projects along with its members and details, project details, is now very streamlined. So let's say if a member is not already in the system or not already in the space, they will be automatically moved and converted into the space with their global settings. You can always come back here and manage these access levels. You can also delete a member from a space, which will not remove them from global. So it is safe to remove users from the space. Now, in terms of reporting, as you can see, that we still have business intelligence here and reports. So anytime your projects are, let's go back into Activity Center. Anytime you're trying to report on these projects, you can consolidate that information in your reports. So reports does not segregate the data based on spaces. It will consolidate it all for now. Same with business intelligence. If you have access to business intelligence, all of this information will be consolidated into those reports, and additional slicers will be added in the upcoming future, where you can, I'll use this as an example actually, where you can define or filter your reports based on spaces. So that slicer will be added to all of your business intelligence reports. In terms of time logs, as you can see here, again, regardless of the space, you will be able to enter time. So let's go into weekly time, and let's add time for myself as an example. You will see all of the projects that I have been assigned to or a user has been assigned to, regardless of the space. So really, the first phase of the spaces is to segregate and really organize the projects. And then the next phases will come down the line. However, you can see all of this information in one. Just because we want all of the project managers, administrators, or key stakeholders to have the visibility on all of the tasks that the user groups are assigned to, as well as the ones that they're working on currently. All right, so this was the first part of spaces for now. Do we have any questions? And I see there's one. So the question is, when you move a project from global space to a specific space, does it bring along with it all the custom fields, or do they get lost? So now that is a great question. So let's go into Activity Center here, and let's take a look at project details. So, right. So as you can see, if you move projects from main space, any custom fields that are associated with that space or that project will be brought into the new space. So if you recall, initially, we only had testing space custom field as a custom field at the project level, and rates. We did not have project overhead rates. We did not have project total including rates, right? So because this was from the main space, it got carried forward. Now, that being said, if let's say you don't want these custom fields to reflect in your current space, you can simply go into the space settings, click on custom fields, and you can delete all of these additional custom fields that you don't want to see. I hope that helps. Are there any questions? Any other questions? All right. One thing to note is that the spaces is in its initial phase, so we are still working on finalizing the spaces, and the spaces will be rolled out based in phases. So if you need to have access to a space or enable the spaces features on your account, please reach out to your account manager or email customer success team to request to enable spaces. So once that is live, which is going to be very soon, you can have that the spaces enabled so you can play around and test it for yourselves. The other thing to note is once a space is created, you cannot archive a space. So once it's created, it stays on the list in the first phase. In the initial phase, the spaces will stay there once it's created. There's no capability right now to archive spaces. So again, I would definitely say be very mindful of the spaces that you're creating, so that you don't end up making this list too long than it should really be, because the idea behind spaces is to organize the projects in a more cohesive manner. Can you rename spaces? Yes, absolutely. So again, if I go into Birdview Weekly Workshop, which is the space that I just created, click on the gear icon there. And then once you click on the gear icon, I can say, let's just call it a Tuesday because it's Tuesday today. And I can easily rename the space, and notice how it has changed here as well. So from Birdview Weekly Workshop, it went to Tuesday. And these changes are automatically saved. So there's no additional step for you to save this. So once you have changed this name of the space, it will be changed. So it's very easy to change it. So I would highly recommend to be cautious when you're accessing the gear icon and changing names here, because if let's say it is accidentally changed, then you can't track it. So the other question here is, you can't delete a space once created because it will create chaos with all the specific custom fields. You can't delete a space. No, you cannot delete a space once it is created. Because again, if you delete a space, which again, the system doesn't allow for it just now. But if let's say you are able to, then it will delete all the custom fields or any workflows, workflow information accordingly. So yes, it cannot be deleted for now. But again, this behavior could change as we continue to work on spaces. But in the current phase, yeah. Any other questions? Okay, excellent. So next we have our upcoming events. So on January 16th, we are going to continue with our spaces, cross management, and we'll further dive into its capabilities. On the 23rd, in 2 weeks, we're going to review our product updates. So these are all the updates that we have made since our last workshop back in December, first week of December. And that includes time entry, search engine, as well as OneDrive integration. On 24th, which is a Wednesday, we have a webinar on project management trends, where we're going to recap the trends that were seen in the project management industry in the year of 2023, where we'll aim not to just review the trends, but also how you as a project manager can apply these strategies effectively in your processes and businesses in the current year. We'll explore how organizations have navigated the evolving landscape, adopting new ideas and tools to stay ahead, as well as how Birdview has positioned itself to meet those changing demands. So please stay tuned for an email and registration details on the monthly webinar. So I just want to say thank you again for being part of Birdview's knowledge sharing community. I do hope you found our webinar or workshop insightful. So if you have any questions, additional questions, inquiries, or even features you'd like us to review, please feel free to send us an email at success@birdviewpsa.com. I do look forward to seeing your questions and inquiries, and hopefully some additional features that you'd like me to go over again for this year to make sure we set you up for success. Thank you again, and I wish you all a very, very happy new year. Take care. Bye.